And President Trump, through a mandate of the masses, this is what you voted for, is doing exactly what he said he would do in attempting at least to clean up the mess that Democrats have made in states like California. Let me set this up for you before we get, and we have some montages for you, and we have claims and truths from the governor, from the mayor, as well as a Reddit retard segment where they compare this to January 6th. It's all so tiresome. But November 19th, 2024, 2 weeks after Donald Trump was elected, right, a mandate from the masses, Los Angeles voted to become a sanctuary city. Let me give you a list of numbers to start this off for context. 810,000, 31 billion, and 26. That's the amount, okay? That's the amount of illegals in Los Angeles County, 810,000. That's the amount, 32 billion, the amount that illegals cost California taxpayers annually, just California. It's about 400 billion for the American taxpayer. And 26 is the number of illegals that have been arrested in 2024 from the LAPD that had charges for murder, homicide, assault against children. I believe this was one sting, just to be clear. So remember those numbers. 810,000, $31 billion, 26 illegal aliens arrested in a sting in 2024, and that this city voted to be a sanctuary city because they just don't want to be subject to the rule of law that you voted for while they accuse you of subverting democracy. It's time for Golden State of Crime. So for those of you who have missed it, and just last night, I believe the LAPD declared it an emergency.
Yeah, they declared what was an unlawful assembly.
Yeah, unlawful assembly
downtown area.
Finally.
Yeah.
But these have been fiery, Mexican-y, but mostly peaceful protests. And by that, I mean this weekend, Los Angeles descended into complete and total chaos with these protests over lawful deportations from ICE taking place in the city. Give that man a raise. Shoot on sight. Shoot on sight.
It's not legal to follow an illegal order, dumb shit. How do you keep your mouth shut if you don't know how it works?
Shoot on sight.
Yeah. Call you later.
This is the GTA 6 trailer?
Just show them some respect.
No, this is what Donald Trump escalated. Oh, sorry, this is before anything happened. Anyone was sent in.
You are one of us. We are not afraid. You're not afraid. You are one of us. Put down that gun, you idiot.
I believe that the LAPD has this underhand.
Believe wrong. In hand?
They are very, very experienced in riot control.
Yeah, it happens all the frickin' time. It's like you have an issue with it.
We are having an administration that's targeting peaceful protests.
They do it every time.
Shoot on sight.
He doesn't
On
like
site?
scenes of people peacefully protesting.
Well, you painted the bus white. What'd you expect?
Shoot on sight.
They'll do it.
Shoot on sight. Anyone pouring gasoline on a vehicle, anyone throwing bricks or rocks through a window. Many people have died, right? Many people have died from that. Shoot on sight. Comment below. Comment below if you think that's too extreme. They want to call us a fascist? Okay, fine. Let's enjoy at least the rule of law and order if we're going to be accused of being fascists anyway. So President Trump has deployed 2,000 National Guardsmen to the city, and he has said that he's prepared to do whatever it takes, and he particularly doesn't like the llama approach that is known from Antifa.
On California, are you prepared to invoke the Insurrection Act?
Depends on whether or not there's an insurrection. No, but you have violent people, and we're not going to let them get away with it.
Do you foresee those protests spreading to other cities, Chicago, New York, for example, in the next few days?
Yes, we're going to be watching it very closely, and when they spit at people, you know, they spit. That's their new thing. They spit, and worse, you know what they throw at them, right? And when that happens, I have a little statement. They say, they spit, we hit. And I told them, nobody's going to spit on our police officers. Nobody's going to spit on our military, which they do as a common thing. They get up to them this far away, and then they start spitting in their face. That happens, they get hit very hard.
And here's the thing. There is the chance, and some people are saying that protests could be spreading to other cities. The good news is you have the rooftop Koreans making a comeback. What is that? Do we have a helicopter?
I know. They're covering it on CNN right now. What's 129?
I'm Lauren Fox on Capitol Hill, and this is CNN.
This
is CNN breaking news.
That's our roof.
You can't say you want to pass! You'll never take me back, you bastards! Come play your knuckles, motherfucker!
What? But Choi doesn't even intern in here anymore.
No.
Yeah, I don't know how he got
right.
How long has he been here?
I don't know. It's news.
We got to get someone on that roof.
We'll check it out. I mean, but you know what? Let him do his thing because
maybe they got him the helicopter.
It's like having a rat snake around.
It's true.
You know that it takes care of rats as long as you're okay with the rat snake. Of course, Democrats and the media, but I repeat myself, they're in full force trying to spin this, and it's time for some claim truth. All right, as always, links, references, every single show in the description. You can go check them out. Here's the first claim that you are hearing from the left. And just remember, they're always telling on themselves that Donald Trump is being a fascist.
None of this is unexpected. None of this is surprising, right? We heard on the campaign trail, and we heard even in the last Trump administration, they were itching to send troops in to put down the George Floyd, riots and protests, and they've been itching for a reason.
President Trump said he wanted asked why he couldn't shoot.
That's right.
He can shoot the president.
So are we.
To do it. So of course they don't need to do this.
This guy wants all of the power. He does not believe in the Constitution.
Yeah, what
he
do you
does not
want?
believe in the rule of law.
Yes, I remember that amendment.
How about your citizens who voted for it?
The governor
Third
of
biggest
California,
Republican voting bloc in the country is
the mayor of the
California.
city of Los Angeles did not request the National Guard, but he thinks he has a right to do anything he wants.
You told me you got caught up in the tear gas as well. Describe what happened to you.
Oh, just tasted a little tear gas. Tasted like fascism.
No, it tasted like your father's disappointment. So here's the truth, just to be clear. Trump is, of course, executing his executive authority, which he is well within his rights to do to quell an emergency. Under Title 10, the National Guard can be placed under federal authority when the United States is invaded or in danger of an invasion by a foreign nation, or if there's rebellion or danger of a rebellion against the authority of the U.S. government. Okay, so we've already met. You just need one of these. We've already met two. And the third, if the president of the United States is unable to execute the laws of the U.S. with the regular forces. You mean like ICE deporting illegal aliens who cost the taxpayer $150 to $450 billion a year, and the American people overwhelmingly voted to deport? Yeah, actually, he's checked all three. Go ahead and make the argument, please, that it's unconstitutional while you allow folks to burn vehicles in your city as tax-paying citizens, the American workers in California, are trying to go to their jobs and their contributions to society. Here's the next claim. And they're always telling on themselves. Keep in mind, the left. They accuse you of doing that which it is they are doing. They say that President Trump is the one inflaming the chaos.
Oh, wow.
I think it was kind of inevitable that you would see this kind of confrontation and pushback because they're now going to these workplaces and in heavily Latino working class communities like Paramount in Southern California.
One of the things that has enraged individuals is to know that there are hundreds of National Guard that have been deployed in our city, and it just seems as though it's an intentional, provocative move to sow chaos in our city.
Donald Trump needs to pull back. He needs to stand down. Donald Trump is inflaming these conditions. This is Donald Trump's problem right now, and if he can't solve it, we will.
Yeah, here's the truth. The ones inflaming it are the ones lighting things aflame. Also, California officials, including that mayor and governor, they've been egging this on from the start. Here is Mayor Bass before the riots even started. Sorry, uncanny clip. Here's the appropriate one.
There were a number of locations where ICE raided today. And, you know, to me, when these things happen, it sows a sense of terror in the community. It's bad enough that it happened at this location.
That would be MS-13.
The way this goes and spreads throughout the community, then people are not sure where they're safe. We are going to fight for all Angelenos.
Watch this.
Regardless of when they got here, whether they have papers or not, we are a city of immigrants. And this impacts hundreds of thousands of Angelenos.
Yeah, over 800,000 illegal aliens who you just said you would protect. That's treason.
I cannot believe that a mayor of one of the largest cities in the world is saying that in the United States, that we're going to fight for illegals to be here, that the only problem is that ICE showed up in the first place to actually execute the laws. And then Governor Newsom comes out and says, this is Donald Trump's problem. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Well,
nothing is that guy's problem.
How long before the LAPD turns against their mayor?
Right. Well, it's one of those things where it's, and I'm going to get to the next claim. They're not even consistent. It's like when a girl breaks up with you and says, actually, I already have a boyfriend, and it's not you, it's me, and I just want to be friends. It's like, well, which is it? Which has got to be one of them. You're just throwing everything at me. Because the next claim, contrary to Donald Trump is inflaming things, is actually, don't worry, everything in Los Angeles is actually super peaceful.
On one level, protests are always about images, about spectacle. You might even say it's about theater, and we are seeing that play out in LA. And I think it's valuable to have that perspective as we see some of these pictures, especially as we zoom out and we recognize that the unrest is isolated, is not overtaking the entire city of LA. LA is home to millions of people, most of whom are having a normal day here on Sunday.
Large group of people. It could turn very volatile if you move law enforcement in there in the wrong way and turn what is just a bunch of people having fun watching cars burn into confrontation and altercation between officers and demonstrators.
Well, it could just be my white privilege talking, but I do harken back to the days where we could stand by and enjoy a nice arson fire.
That's right.
You know, some cities you go to parks or museums or go to the beach or play volleyball. Here in LA, we like to burn cars in the street.
Well, listen, if you've never made a s'mores over a car fire, you're not living.
It's our culture.
It's like grilling with charcoal. You never recreate the fuel flavor from the burning gasoline
it's
tank.
the oil. I think it's the oil.
You got to have the oil, not synthetic. So
we got to go for a Dodgers game and then burn a car later.
Just think, if they send in the police the wrong way to deal with this these dozen flaming vehicles, hey, it's like eating a Reese's. There is no wrong way to kill an arsonist asshole.
They're talking about burning cars in the street the same way that people talk about fireworks.
I know.
Hey, we're just trying to have fun once a year.
Which, by the way,
it's patriotic.
They also ban in most counties in California because of the droughts. So it's like, in this case, remember, it's kind of like COVID, where, we had to stay in except for the mostly peaceful protests because it probably wouldn't spread outside. And by the way, because some big tech guys who are claiming to be kind of more conservative out there are trying to present this Los Angeles mayoral candidate and also governor hopeful Rick Caruso as a moderate. Let me show you that they're all the same. Here's a quote from Rick Caruso. There is no emergency, widespread threat, or out-of-control violence in LA, and absolutely no danger that justifies deployment of the National Guard, military, or other federal force to the streets of this or any Southern California city. Local law enforcement is capable of handling the situation and should arrest anyone causing violence in the street. We must call for calm in the streets, and deployment of the National Guard may prompt just the opposite. Here's the truth. That's complete and total horse crap, because here's the LAPD chief, Jim McDonnell, saying that the situation was completely out of control and they need to reassess things.
What is your position on the National Guard being deployed? Do we need them here?
Do we need them? Well, looking at it tonight, this thing has gotten out of control. Before I could answer that, I'd have to know more about what their capabilities are, what their role is intended to be able to make that determination.
Yes,
but we have great cops in Southern California here that work together all the time. So we have tremendous capability here. To say that we would go to that right away, I'd say we're not. We wouldn't have been there yet. Looking at the violence tonight, I think we got to make a reassessment.
Yeah, and then last night, the LAPD declared all of downtown LA an unlawful assembly.
Right, exactly. And by the way, so that chief says that, and then Gavin Newsom comes out and says, let me be clear, this is Donald Trump's fault. We don't need these people here. And I'm like, but the guy on the ground in charge of the situation just said, I wouldn't have thought so, but have you looked outside?
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe we should ask them to come in.
But this is why they wonder why they lose the working man's vote.
I know.
Because people are trying to get to work. Oh, those people can't because of burning vehicles and bricks being thrown through their windshield or rocks, whatever you want to call it at this point.
Which, by the way, smells like Somalia.
Yes. Yes, it
burning
does.
tires.
And then
what's that smell? It's peaceful.
And then the cops. Then the working cops want to show up, but their hands are tied. And they wonder why they're losing. As a matter of fact, all classes of people outside from the ultra wealthy elite and those on welfare. No one else votes for Democrats. Do you understand that? By the way, at least 3 cops have been injured. Some attacks on officers have included fireworks, vehicular assault, meaning trying to run them over, Molotov cocktails, to be clear.
Bricks.
Yep. And in an attempt to control the situation locally, LA's friendly California, San Francisco, they did send some extra officers to help with the riots. Yeah, I don't know how useful it'll be, but...
Oh, yeah, I don't think...
It's not going to help.
Here's the next claim that they are making on the left, that the Trump administration is actually in over its head, even though, by the way, it's largely peaceful. We don't need them. But they're in over their head. But the situation isn't something that would be chaotic and something. Donald Trump is destroying the country.
Do you have any confidence that Pete Hegseth will be as principled as Mark Esper was?
Pete Hegseth's a joke. He's a joke.
He's talking like Biden.
It's so in over his head. What an embarrassment. That's just guy's weakness masquerading as strength. I don't even know he masquerades as strength.
You could wiener slap him on camera right there, and he wouldn't do a thing.
These guys, it's just it's
trying to talk to
masquerade. This guy hangs out at masquerade parties.
I mean, it really is. This is serious. People's lives are at stake. The reputation of this country is at stake. Great American cities and states. It's not just. This is a preview for things to come. This isn't about L.A. per se. It's about us today. It's about you, everyone watching tomorrow. I promise you. I mean, this guy's unhinged. Donald Trump is unhinged right now. And this is just another proof point of that.
Yeah. So it's Donald Trump's mess, and Pete Hegseth are out of what they're in over their head. Except here's the truth: California's worse off than the rest of the country. So I don't really know that you can blame it on Donald Trump. So, for example, if you look at violent crime, it's higher than pre-COVID numbers in California, significantly higher. In the United States at large, it's lower than pre-COVID numbers. Homelessness is up in California, 31.6% since 2007. In the U.S. at large, it's down 10%. As far as their open borders policies, too, in California, like this is what leads to a lot of it. 1 million driver's licenses have been given to illegals. They've expanded Medi-Cal to illegals, costing the taxpayer about $9.5 billion on just that one. And here's what Newsom said about President Trump's border wall. A 2,000-mile wall is a monument to stupidity. Not just vanity, to stupidity. So it's really hard to blame your problems on Donald Trump when California is the sphincter of the United States. And that's really hard to do. It's really hard to do because you have everything. You have all the natural resources. You have a beautiful state. You have to work hard to screw it up.
Yeah.
And to give you an idea, other areas like Oklahoma, Arkansas, other areas are doing better. California, paradise, is doing worse. So if anyone out there can make the case as to why Los Angeles, why California is worse off because of Donald Trump, please comment below. Let me know. What we really are witnessing right now is Donald Trump actually being a president. He has the authority to detain illegals. By the way, he has the public support. So not that he needs it, but he has it. And he has the authority. This has all been caused by California officials, whether it's the governor, the mayor, the city councils. It's out of control. And President Trump, through a mandate of the masses, this is what you voted for, is doing exactly what he said he would do in attempting at least to clean up the mess that Democrats have made in states like California.
If you're gonna fight against guys, you must be victorious. You started a riot, so you have to fight the national guard.
What?
Unbelievable.
You know what? It would be dumb if it weren't for the fact that they're emboldened. These people are emboldened. They took over city blocks in Seattle.
They let them do it the last time around. What makes you think that they're going to stop this time around? And I don't
Nip
understand.
it in the bud, shoot on sight. Anyone committing an act of violence against another civilian, shoot on sight, and these will stop.
Yeah, I mean, this is not just a protest. This is somebody trying to stop the federal government from carrying out federal law. They're just deporting people who are here illegally. And you're being encouraged by your citizens. And your mayor literally goes on CNN this morning and all of this weekend, really, and says, if they just wouldn't deport people, we wouldn't have a problem.
Right.
Are you kidding me? At what point do people get removed and put in jail? At what point do you go, hey, we got to shoot all you guys on sight? Because, I don't know, you're throwing bricks at cop cars that are traveling under an overpass, and that kills people. That's attempted murder.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's insane. So
anyone who tries to light a vehicle on fire, the moment they lift the gasoline can, there should be nothing left but a pair of shoes and the gasoline can twirling on the ground where that person used to be. Also, look, hey, you're flying. I have zero talent. You're flying go to Mexico. Go to Mexico.
I heard it's great.
There's no one who loves Mexico more than anybody on earth than the people who fled that country. But if it's so great, why do you feel entitled to be here? And you know that we're not allowed in Mexico to do this. We're not allowed to protest. We're not allowed to own waterfront property if we go to Mexico.
Which is the only property you want in Mexico, just to be clear.
Let's be honest.
Come on.
The entire country sucks outside of some very slim waterfront.
That's true.
Vagina is exactly what I would say if I wasn't here on YouTube. So go and subscribe on Rumble. Same channel where free speech is actually alive and well. Or you can stay here and up the